I mean, he's beaten Pep 3 out of 5 times. He's beaten Lampard 3 out of 5 times in all competitions. It's 2 wins and 3 against Rodgers, 2 and 2 against Pochettino when he was still at Spurs, and it's 2 out of 3 against Thomas Tuchel, who's managing a Champions League finalist team in the form of PSG. And let's not forget Julian Nagelsmann, who a few critics were saying would be a step up over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. He saw him off in midweek in the Champions League, emphatically so. Why can't they get consistency?
There's 2 questions there, Adam. One, you was talking about the team being consistent, and
yes,
you're analysing Ollie at the same time, you know. And I think he has. What the question that you should be asking me, sorry, is where does Ollie go from here? Because it's not maybe your record of the past now. It's actually dealing with individuals that get you the sack, rather than actually your results sometimes, you know. And you've got a very, very big time player there. And if he's not performing and you're not getting the results, you put yourself under huge pressure. And I don't think it's a lack of desire from Paul Pogba. I really don't. I think there's inconsistency in the team. You know, the different systems, I think, don't help. I think there's inconsistency about what the coach is actually asking him to do. So I think he goes out there, Paul Pogba, with the right attitude. Don't get me wrong. We're not questioning his desire. For me, I'm not questioning his desire. I just think there's a little bit of inconsistency, but I think he's lost his kind of way, where he's going, you know, and I think the team has, to be completely honest with you. And, you know, the longer it goes on, the poor results at Old Trafford, I think Ollie's very lucky that the crowd are not in there. I think if there was a crowd in Old Trafford at the moment, I think he would be very close to these last days at Man United, to be honest with you, because the crowd would have put in huge pressure, absolutely huge pressure on the coach at this point. But I'm very interested in the way that he deals with it. That will be the making of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the club, and not his records against other coaches. I think what we need to see now is the way that he handles this situation. Whether he says, go on the bench, son, you know, you're not for me at the moment, or like Arteta done with Ozil, you're not for me completely, guy. You know, you're completely not for me. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do this style with this personnel. And if I get the sack because of that, then at least I've done it my way and my system and what I want to do. This is what I'm talking about Arteta now. You know, I don't see that with Ollie. I think he's compensating. He's falling forwards, as we say. He's doing a bit of this, bit of that. Yeah, I think the important question here, Adam, is what he's going to do now. How he's going to handle this situation.
I've got a comment here from a friend of the show. He joined Arsenal's youth team just as Tony was retiring, Fabrice Mwamba. So he just messaged me and he said, if this was Van Gaal's team, you would hear from all the United players and the fans wanting him out. Renee, what do you make of what Fabrice just messaged me? Is that something that could actually be true? Is it because he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer it's not going to be the case?
Well, first of all, I think Tony made a really valid point of the fans not being there. And I think we discussed it before the game as well, because that's why you're going to get some really weird and strange results. But the fans, you know, they make it very clear what they think, you know, and obviously the fans are still there. Obviously they will air their discontent on social media and everything. But yeah, I can see where he's coming from. But I also feel like, listen, you know, I don't necessarily think that, you know, sacking coaches is the way forward, but a lot of coaches and managers don't even get the time they need. And I always feel that any manager that starts a new job at a club, they need at least about 18 months to get there where you want them to be, because you pick up a new team, there's not your players, they need to get used to yourself, then you got a transfer window, you ship out the ones that you don't want, you bring in what's possible, you know, what you want to get, then you have another 6 months to get them to play in the way that you want, and then you get another transfer window, and then basically in those 18 months you would have your squad, your players, plus they want to play in the way that you want. That is for me the biggest issue at the moment. I don't know what United's identity is at the moment. I can't say it. You know, if you look at Liverpool, you can say, go, Liverpool is dynamic, direct, energetic, boom. Man City is Pep Guardiola, it's like keyhole surgery. Tiki-taki, tiki-taki-taki, and you open it up like this. I don't know. I have no idea with United. I do only know in the time when I was there with Alex Ferguson, he always wanted his teams to play with authority and conviction, based on hard work, you know, quality and energy. Those were the things. And like I said, sometimes you see glimpses of it, but more often than not. So it's a fair question for what Tony says. Don't look back. How is Ole, because he's had his 18 plus months, yeah? How he's going to do it now? Because what is next? Because I'm still waiting for that good performances, good result, good performance, good result, good perform, consistency, like everybody mentioned. Paul Pogba mentioned it. The players feel there is no consistency. Everybody feels there's no consistency. So how do you get that? Well, because of the lack of quality there is in the different departments of the team, I don't think you get it.
Today is his 100th game in charge of Manchester United, as it was touched upon in the interview. See his win percentage there. Jose Mourinho sits above him. Now, Mourinho had 144 games, I believe, in charge of Manchester United. Louis van Gaal had 103. David Moyes had 51. Those are the managers since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club and retired. So, Tony, do you see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hitting 200 games for Manchester United?
Not at the way that his team's set up at the moment and the way that the results are going. We're in a results industry. And when you're not getting the results, then pressure comes on you. And a team like Man United is intensified as well. You know, they're a massive club, massive support around the world. And, you know, when you don't get the results, you have really got problems. But for me, and Rennie said beautifully, to be completely honest with you, it's about, you know, Arteta, if you analyse his, and we might do a bit later on, analyse his record, it's maybe not as good as Emery in the first few games. But what we can see at Arsenal and what I can see of Arteta, he's actually got a system. He knows what he's doing. If you know, you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get all his players, first and foremost, to work hard. You've got Aubameyang running back, you know, Lacazette running, every player giving 100%. That was his first thing he did when he come to the club. And the fans react on that. You know, they see the attitude of the players. For me, Ollie, I can't see that. I can't see, you know, what he's laid, what are the foundations, you know, his principles. I know Man United principles, and they're not coming up to that class at the moment. So I can't. Your question is, will he be there in 200? Definitely not with the results that they're having.
Renee? 150 games.
That's 150 games. It is like Tony says, and I mean, if you look at it, I mean, this must be probably the poorest start of any Premier League season, you know, so far. But it's obviously still early doors. But just remind ourselves that, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were third last year, but still 33 points of the champions. The year before, 32. You know, this year should have been a year where, you know, we start from scratch again, you know, with a clean sheet and see where we go and see if we can compete with the Liverpools and the Manchester Cities, who everybody expects to be the two top teams are up there. And at this moment in time, this is, you can't really, would have a worse false start than what he's having. And yes, I'm sure that obviously they have these discussions with Ole how to take the club forward, with Woodward and everything comes into it, with the recruitment and everything goes in it. But at this moment, the signs are not there that they're moving into the right direction. But the funny thing is, every single time, like, they lose against Tottenham 6-1, and you think the whole roof is caving in. What's going to happen after the international break? Away to Newcastle, it's a difficult place to go. And they beat him 4-1. And the next game, they beat Paris Saint-Germain 2-1. So there is something in there, but it has to come out quickly. And if it doesn't, then I fear also for him if he will be there for 150 games.